Hey guys, it's Halo553. Welcome back to another Beyblade X unboxing. Today I am very excited as we are finally going to be starting Wave 7 of Hasbro. Yes, Wave 7. And we're going to be starting off with one of the new jewel packs, that being Hack Viking and Circle Ghost. Now, to provide a little bit of context on how these packs were released, here in Australia we have two retailers known as Toymate and Toy World. And recently in Queensland, thanks to Impulse from Beyblade Australia, they discovered the Wave 7 jewel packs at their Toymate. So, which was pretty awesome. Then, a few days later, it was sighted in Melbourne, and then in New South Wales. So, yeah, at the moment, at the time of filming, these are only available in Australia, but they should be hopefully hitting American retailers at some point. Now, just going over the package quickly, the jewel pack packaging is pretty much the same as we saw with Wave 5 and Wave 6, with the gunmetal banding and the naming of the bays, but there has been a slight change to the packaging as we don't have a let it rip tab on the front of the box anymore. I suspect this is most likely just a way to help combat package thieves, as that has sadly been recently a problem with Hasbro bays at the moment, which is really disappointing. Now, the box is a tiny bit tougher because of it, but it's still relatively easy to rip the front of the box, but it should hopefully help prevent more stealing of parts. Now, having a look at the back of the box, as you can see, it just goes over the details of both bays that you get in this jewel pack. So first off, we have Hack Viking, so we have, of course, the Hack Viking blade. The ratchet is 455, and then the bit is Orb. And then the second bay you get is Circle Ghost, so you get the Circle Ghost blade, the 460 ratchet, and the low rush bit. So, let's get into this jewel pack. So here is Hack Viking and Circle Ghost out of the packaging. So I'm going to go over each of the bays one by one and talk about all the parts in a bit more detail. So let's get started. So first off, we have Circle Ghost. So this is the same Circle Ghost that was originally released as a recolor in Random Booster Volume 5 with the price Ghost Circle. Now there has been a slight change to its original combo, but I will say, this is still a really awesome bay to finally have from Hasbro, as the recolor of this bay is honestly really cool. So first off, we have the Circle Ghost blade. Now we of course have the Circle Ghost blade in the Wave 6 dual pack with Chain and Cindio, but we now have it in its green recolor. Now Circle Ghost is a UX stamina type blade, so large hooks of plastic, and the metal is more allocated to the outside design. Now, Circle Ghost is a fairly light blade. In fact, it's one of the lightest blades currently in Beyblade X. So, in the standard format, it's not going to do great, but it may have some success in the Hasbro format. Still, it is really nice to be able to get this green recolor from Hasbro, as besides the prize bag, this is still a really awesome recolor. Definitely giving me very Slimer vibes. But yeah, really awesome to finally have this recolor. Next up, we have the 460 ratchet. Now, nothing too crazy to talk about here. Is the same ratchet we've gotten quite a few times now. 4 attrition points at the 60 height, but the color on this 460 is pretty nice. Now, 460 is not the best ratchet around. They can be used on certain blades, but they don't really work that well. Plus, they have a tendency to burst. 450, while that has seen pretty good success, and same with 455. 460 is probably not the best option to use here, but I will say still like the colors on this 460. Finally, we have probably the most interesting part of this combo. We have Low Rush. Now, the original release of this recolor originally came with Hexa, but instead, with this release from Hasbro, we have Low Rush. Low Rush is an attack type bit that is 1mm lower than the standard Rush bit. Now, Rush is already used quite a lot for massive smash attacks while retaining a lot of stamina. Low Rush does that by getting even lower, so you can really get under your opponent's blades and to potentially target the Ratchet. Now, this is an exclusive color for Low Rush at the moment, and it's really awesome to see this reprinted bit outside of the Drop Attack battle set, at least from Hasbro. While it is disappointing that we are not getting Hexahe, I think the bit substitute here is still really good. Plus, love the green that they used on this Low Rush. Now let's focus on the most exciting part of this duel pack. We have Hack Viking. Now Hack Viking is very exciting, mainly because this is the first UX Bay that is a retool. Up until this point, we've only had BX and CX retools, but Hack Viking is the first UX retool, and we are expecting another UX retool with Stun Medusa when that starts getting released at retailers. But let's now take a deeper dive into this brand new retool. First up, we have the Hack Viking blade itself. Now, Hack Viking is a retool of Hammer Incendio. Now, Hack Viking is also a UX base, like Circle Ghost, so launch hooks are plastic, and the metal is allocated to the outside design. Love this gear chip design. As you can see, we've got a very nice image of the Viking with the waves behind it. Now, the contact points with the main blades seems to be very similar to Hammer, but I will say the contact in between the three main blades is a bit different. I would say it's a bit more sharp, and it's definitely going to probably have some more interesting contact when it makes contact with other bays. Now here it is next to the original Hammer Incendio. As you can see, shaping wise they are very similar, but again, I would say Viking's at least contact in between its three main blades is going to be very different. So I would say this probably has a little bit more attack potential when it compared to Hammer. But still, I love how Viking looks. I think it looks way cooler than Hammer, and this is someone that really likes Hammer. But yeah, very, very cool retool, and has been very excited to see what other retools we will see in the future. Next up, we have the 455 Ratchet. Now, this is not a new part. We have seen this Ratchet a little bit from Hasbro and Takara, but we have a brand new color for it in this very nice dark blue. Now, 455 is 4 attrition points at that 55 height. Now, I will say this Ratchet can be decent, but keep in mind it is a simple Ratchet lock, so it's going to be more susceptible to bursting. But really like the color on this. I think this is definitely one of the nicest 455 recolors I have seen so far. But yeah, really nice Ratchet to have here in the dual pack. I will say though, I kind of wish maybe it was a different Ratchet, but I really can't complain too much about it being included here. Finally, we have the bit, which is Orb. Now, this is probably the main part out of this whole combo I'm not the biggest fan of. Mainly stems from the fact we had a lot of Orb bits from Wave 6. So, yeah, not really happy with this part being included. But I will say the blue is really nice on this part. I honestly kind of wish it was maybe a different bit, maybe like Low Orb. I think that would have been a very nice part to have in the dual pack. But even still, this is a nice blue orb, and honestly, this is probably one of the nicest colors I've seen for Orb. But overall, not too bad. Alright, now we're going to do some weights for these days. So first off, we'll weigh up Circle Ghost. So the Rush bit weighs 1.97 grams. It's a little hard to see in this box. 460 weighs 6.3 grams. And then finally the blade, this weighs 27 grams exactly. That's actually on the higher end. The average for Circle Ghost weighs around 26.5 to 26.7 or 8. I have never seen a Ghost Circle weigh 27 grams before. That's actually kind of nuts. So let's put the bay together. Oh, there's a little rush. So there's the full combo. And Ghost Circle weighs 35.24 grams. Alright, now we'll weigh out
Hack Viking. So the orbit, this weighs 2 grams exactly. The 455 ratchet, that weighs 4.67 grams. And then finally the blade, this weighs 32.78. Granted, it has been showing, yeah, like 32.8. For comparison, here it is with one of my older hammers, and this one weighs 33.1. So at least with this one, it is a little bit lighter, but keep in mind, hammer does tend to weigh a bit more. Usually, sometimes 33.5. So really, depending on how heavy your original Hell's Hammer or Hammer Insignia was, it's going to vary with Hack Viking. Some Hack Vikings have been weighing a bit less, but it's the end of the world. So there's the full combo. Really like the colors. So altogether, Hack Viking weighs 39.45 grams, so not too bad. Whoop. So let's give both of these guys some test spins and some test battles.
Alright, now we're going to do some test battles with these two new bays. So we're going to start off with Circle Ghost. That'll be on War Rush, hitting the Extreme Line. Now I don't know how it's going to go really with this combo, but I don't think this magically increased weight to 27 grams is going to make it much better than normal, but who knows, could be surprising. Having a green War Rush is really nice now. Really happy about that. So now we'll do Hack Viking. So you see, it's on orb. Nothing too crazy there. I mean, the combo is going to be a bit more, because it's on 455. Really just need to see how the shaping affects its performance compared to Hammer and Syndio. But pretty interesting. Okay, let's try them out in some battles. Lightweight on circles not really helping it that much. So that is it for my look at Hack Viking and Circle Ghost. Yeah, I'm really happy with both of these bays. Now I will say there are some aspects that I'm not the biggest fan of, but overall that doesn't downgrade how I feel about this dual pack, which is very, very positive. Now, first off with Circle Ghost, I am very happy to see that this recolor got a release from Hasbro. This is a very nice recolor of Circle Ghost, so if you weren't a big fan of the prize bait colors, this is definitely an option. Now, the combo itself is alright. I mean, 4-6 is not the best ratchet, but the inclusion of Rush is really, really good. Now, honestly, the swapping from Hexer is going to divide people, as a lot of people are disappointed that we're not going to be able to get Hexer easily again. But I will say the inclusion of Low Rush is still a great substitute, but we probably will see Hexer later down the line. But still, this is a pretty solid release overall, especially for that Low Rush. Now for Hack Viking, yeah, I absolutely love this bay. It is really awesome to see that we are going to be finally getting UX retools, and this is definitely a very nice retool. Now do keep in mind it is a remold of Hammer Incendio, so its performance is going to be very similar, but I would say it might have a bit more attack potential due to the intricate design on the blade. So that's probably one thing that has it going for it. Now the combo itself is alright. I mean, full 55 is decent, but it's not amazing, but I do like the color on it. Orb though, I'm a little bit disappointed that they included Orb. I would have loved to have seen maybe a blue low Orb. I think that would have looked a lot better. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this release. And honestly, it looks very, very cool. So yeah, definitely can recommend picking this bay up. So my final thoughts on the dual pack is very, very high. I can definitely recommend picking up this dual pack if you spot it out in the wild. While the Circle Ghost blade isn't amazing, I do think the inclusion of Low Rush definitely makes it a must-have. And Hack Viking being one of the first UX retools, and coming with some pretty nice parts, granted, kinda wish Orb was low Orb. Yeah, I could definitely recommend you pick up this dual pack. It is a must-have. So at the moment, keep in mind this pack is only available in Australia, but it should hopefully be hitting like the US and Canada hopefully in the next few months. So definitely keep an eye out for it. But anyways, that's going to do it for this review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Beyblade X videos in the future. And until then, I'll see you all in the next video.